All right. Guys, we have almost come to the end of this, series of Active Directory connector installation and configuration. So, uh, in the final modules, we are just going to publish the sandbox which we created, and then which we are going to uh, which we using it for uh, the application instance which we created earlier. Okay, so I believe in the last four modules, we just created the sandbox and then we created the form, we validated it, and then in the previous module, we created the application instance. Yes, and now, uh, as you all know, we were still in the the sandbox. We have not published it. So in this particular module, I'm just going to close all these windows and then publish the sandbox which we created. Okay, and after that, we would be just running some jobs. Okay, and so that the application instance will be visible to the users in the catalog page. And finally, we'll be testing by requesting the application instance, and we'll be seeing whether the user is actually getting provisioned or not. Okay, so I'm just closing all the other tabs here, windows. And so we already saw that okay, the sandbox is the one which we have been using, and now I'm just selected this, and now I'll just click on publish sandbox. It says you have requested to publish the sandbox and merge the contents. Okay, and then I'm just going to click on yes. So as I said, the sandbox is the temporary storage location, or I would say like it's a place where all the metadata objects can be modified or customized, without affecting the other users. So now that it said the sandbox has been published, so we did not get any error messages. So I believe it should be visible to the end user. So it has come back to the normal mode now. Yeah, and now what we need to do is, um, whatever changes we did, the form, the application instance, all have been published to the all the users now who will be using the OIM. So now I'm just need to run the catalog synchronization job so that it would be visible to the end users. Yeah. Okay. So I just go here, and then here you need to just search for the job catalog synchronization. Okay, and then just click on run now, and then should just refresh it. And ideally, it should not throw any error messages. It says ideally, um, it is a periodical job. It keeps running every 15 minutes. So I just manually run it now. Okay. All right. So now what we need to do is we need to just quickly test it. Okay. Um, I'm just logging into the identity self-service console and then go to manage users here. Okay. And now, whatever user needs, whichever user request for the Windows logon or the Active Directory here, Windows account or the Active Directory application instance, uh, this should actually be visible to the in the catalog page. And then, uh, after he just clicks on next, he will be seeing the process form fields. Okay, and then, because as you all know, I've actually logged in to the Excelsis ADM account, the super administrator account of OIM. So I'm managing all the administration related functionalities via this account. Okay, let's see whether the provisioning configuration that we worked so far uh, is successfully configured or not. Okay, so I'm just going to click on request accounts, and then uh, yeah. So as I was talking about, so as soon as we click on the request account, the user would be viewing the catalog page, and then uh, he, he will just select the application instance. Okay, See, right now, this Windows account application instance which we created a while ago, or probably I would say it gets populated in the catalog page. So now I just click on add to cart, and then click on next here. And the after we add it to the catalog, and this is where you see the fields related to the process form. And this is the primary reason why we actually talked about what a process form is, and then how do we add the additional attributes and all that, and also how to make this form visible in the user interface console. Okay. And that is why we created the form, and then we associated the form with this application instance. So when you just click on the pencil symbol, you see those fields here. Okay. See, all the fields, whichever fields, the default fields uh, of user active directory related ones are all visible here. Okay. So I think there are no specific mandatory fields here. So if you want to auto populate or pre-populate any fields, the data with for those corresponding fields, then you'd be actually attaching a pre-populate adapter, which will be covering in a separate module. Okay. So I'm just going to click. All right. So I'm just here. We have to associate the organization name so that the user account gets created in that particular container. Okay. So this is a very important step here, which we have to do here. Okay. And I'm just selecting the default one that gets populated here. All right. So I just click on update. And then I just it said it it got updated here, and then I'm just going to click on submit. Hopefully it shouldn't throw any error messages, and then we should be able to see the request submission says it should say successfully submitted. And then once we go back to the user accounts tab, once we refresh that option, the user should be showing the account getting provisioned successfully. So if there is any other status, something like which is not provision, like provisioning or waiting or something of that sort, then we may have to come back to the configuration and then find out why we are not getting the account provision successfully. Okay. So I'm just going to pause this video for a while, uh, because it's taking a while. you know so let me just pause this video for a while. All right. So I've just, the request just got submitted successfully. Request got submitted. Okay. And now when I just try to refresh this page, um, you know, I see that, the Windows account, I can see the Windows account. But as you can see here, the status still shows provisioning. But as I mentioned, um, the account type the status should always show something like successfully or success, provisioned. And I'm just going to click on it and see why it is still not provisioned successfully. So I just go here, and then uh, I'm just going to click on the resource history here. Okay. I just select this and then click on resource history. Okay. So if there's something like, there will be something like you have two tasks getting, or successfully triggered, the process task, which is, the default system validation task. And there should be something called a create user task. Okay. So all these are the process tasks which gets triggered based on the process definition and all that. Okay. So if you guys have not aware about what the process definition process task, I request you to uh, look into the separate module where I've talked about that. So I just go into the resource history and then see that the system validation task, the default task is successfully completed, but the create user task, okay, is is showing rejected. So I'm just going to see why it shows rejected. Okay, probably if the auto save option in the the resource object in the design console, if that option is not saved automatically, then probably okay, here it doesn't give me any error message. Okay, so I'm just going to go back here and just going to give a retry option here. Let me just retry this option. Okay, uh, let me just go to the logs here.